Good morning. Welcome to Daily Devotional. We'll see if Astra joins us. She's been going back and forth between the window and the couch this morning. She comes up every once in a while. My name is Red Moon-Eagle, and you're watching Daily Devotions with Red Moon-Eagle. I post less frequently than I used to, but I'm still doing daily devotionals. I do them for myself, and I've been tapering back to what I've been doing with everybody else just because my schedule is really full, and self-care is a real thing, and I'm a firm believer in everybody doing what they need to do for their self-care. So we're going to go over dynamic sequencing today with 4 different decks, and we're going to start with the Activations Oracle Guidebook. The 1-5 dynamic today is the solar plexus chakra. The frequency of the solar plexus chakra, the yellow flower of life, supports our sense of self, our personal power, our willpower, as well as our knowing of who we are and what our contribution is to the whole. The flower of life is a geometric shape recognized by many cultures. The color yellow is associated with the 3rd or the solar plexus chakra. It is located in the area of the diaphragm below the breastbone and linked to your sense of self, our authority, our personal power. It is the area of our personality and our ego. Yellow helps us to think clearly, increases our wellness, and stimulates our curiosity. It strengthens our vitality, our life force, and our energy. Something that's a little different with this one is that looking at the body activations, the shadow of this number is either or. I don't know who I am. I am no one without someone. And so that shadow is in complete juxtaposition to the knowledge of self, the sense of self. So activating this in the body, as well as what it's telling us with the 1-5 dynamic, which is the creativity of knowing who you are, leaning into the curiosity of that. And the framework of today is clearly about the self. And it can be, we'll see what it means with the other cards, but what is the self? Where is your willpower? What is your knowing of who you are, who we are, and what our life force connection is in the world? So that's the first card. In the 2-6 dynamic, we have Rapunzel. My story. A wicked witch has locked me away in the tower. Using my long hair to climb up to me, one day a prince discovered the tower. He climbed up and we fell in love. But the witch found out about our hopes of marriage. In anger, she cut off my hair and scratched my poor prince's eyes. We were separated for years. But then one day, after wandering through the country for years, the prince found me in the wilderness. From this moment on, we lived happily together. My message is, you have locked yourself in the ivory tower, which in a way is fine, since by doing so you've learned to grow self-sufficient. However, the moment has come for you to get out of this protective yet limited cocoon. Time is running out. You cannot spend your whole life away from the world, so carefully choose who you let in, and even more important, choose to get out and free yourself from everything that could restrain your territory. So dynamic with the 2-6. So not only the connection between each other, learning to trust and learning to find the people to trust in your world without losing yourself, your sense of self, and the dynamic of moving forward. And there is a fine line between moving forward because it's exciting and it's new and it brings you new adventures, and running away. And you cannot run away from yourself, and you cannot run away from the lessons that other people bring you in the connection. There's no way that's going to work. And Rapunzel shows us that, shows us the opportunities of love and connection we have with the people around us, and also the pitfalls of when we trust the wrong person and what that does to our sense of self. And we're going to come back to this in a little bit. Okay, in the 3-7 dynamic, we have Misule. Now this card is the Golden Empress, the Jewel of Abydos. She lives in the domain of Duat. It is the center of secrets, ritual, and mystery. In its temples and desert monuments, the true nature of being, reality, and creation are hidden. unlocked only through adherence to its rituals and rites. To dwell in Duat is to face the realities most hide from thoroughly. To dwell in Duat is to face the realities most hide from most thoroughly. How well do you know yourself, your desires, whether your heart and intentions are pure? For all in Duat, those will surely be judged. The Golden Empress of Abydos, once mortal, upon death, the Golden Empress demanded and won audience with the gods of Duat, bypassing the trials entirely. Charismatic and confident, she made a case for her service in life. As a queen and as the embodiment and representative of the gods in the world and the glory and worship she brought to the keepers of Duat in life, swayed, they created her a demigoddess. And she gathered her own empire of loyal followers to add to the power of the pantheon. The Golden Empress embodies sheer confidence and potency, to think on all that we have accomplished and present our best self, particularly when addressing the positions of authority. Wow, that's powerful. That's a powerful 3-7 dynamic here. So it's interesting. The center of Duat is facing the things we hide from ourselves. We're still on this self-awareness theme today. And she is the embodiment of those that I'm working on my words here. Right. She embodies the sheer confidence and potency, our best self. So it's all in the details in some ways, right? Like it's the details of knowing what it is about yourself, your good, your bad, your ugly, your glory, your magnetism, your confidence in yourself. These are all little things about who you are, big things about who you are. You know yourself the best. And I think that's very much that 3 dynamic. You do know yourself very well. There is an assumption, though, in that 3 that other people are going to see that, and they're not. And 7 will tell you exactly what it is you don't want to hear. The downside to 7 is they'll push. The 7 push to encourage you becomes a push to force you. And you don't even know in that 7 dynamic that you've gone there. So there's a fine line when you are being dynamically encouraged through that Golden Empress energy to stand within your own magnetism, stand within your own confidence and potency, and not be pushed and pulled by other people's desires, wants, and needs, and still give and share where you feel you can do that in your own way, in your own sense of self, and recognizing that other people have their own journey and you can't push and pull that. They have their own journey. 3 definitely knows that. A 3 knows when they look into someone's eyes where that person is and their potential choices. And it's not your job to influence that because they have their own journey. A 3 will automatically know that. But they often don't know it about themselves in how to navigate all these other dynamic energies around them. And sometimes you do have to say something, and that's a hard thing. So we're going to come back to that. This still has to do with sense of self. I'll weave all these together in a minute. The Lantern Oracle is the 4-8. And number 15 is the card we've drawn. It's the phase of the mother, the young adulthood, passion, learning, choices, trial and error, creativity, betrayal, disillusionment, and being broken open. And 15 is distorted desire. Conscious desire rarely satisfies the unconscious need driving it. Knowing the difference between need and want is key to navigating what is the root of desire. It helps us to distinguish what is self-sabotaging compulsion or mirage from what is genuinely life-enhancing aspiration to be realistically pursued. When what we think we want is not what we need or long for at a core level, the realization of such desires potentially results in something nightmarish rather than dream fulfillment. In worst case scenarios, this can have us running for our lives. Whether or not we consciously recognize a delusion for what it is, an untruth can never satisfy our needs. Illusions have no sustenance and no substance, and therefore cannot satiate the burning desire that mistakenly drives us to attain them in the first place. Gently unpack the reasons why you're running away. Why are you turning away rather than confronting the things that are not actually as they seem to be in your life? It may be necessary to compassionately release yourself from unwarranted conviction. My phone happened. Once we get clear of what our heart's core desire is and therefore need, we are ready to recognize it in whatever form it takes, to receive it, to make space for our heart's true longing to come in by freeing oneself from the illusions still haunting you. This is so powerful. Today's theme is so powerful. Who are you? What is the creative force in your life that drives you? What is the framework of who you are? The solar plexus, the fire of the body, and your life. What are the amazing connections that you've made to other people? And how are you leaning into who are you? You can be somebody without someone. You can stand in your own power, and you can learn to discern and trust and not trust and listen to that gut. That solar plexus is all about trusting your gut. And then how do you stand in your power? How do you stand in your power and yet not run over someone else? How do you stand in your power, find your safety, find your voice to be heard in the cacophony of our world? And how do you be authentic and find your own integrity and not run away? It is so easy to run away. It is so easy to get trapped in a distorted desire of someone else's instead of holding on to who you are and what you want and what you love. So today's exercise, today's daily devotion is, who are you? What are your playful, loving, creative pieces? Who do you care about? Who can you trust? What are the little tiny niggling details of what makes you who you are? And how do you make sure that your voice is heard in the cacophony around us? And how do you make sure that you're not headed in a direction that's not your own? What are your desires? And how do you do them? And how do you not get caught in the blame, shame, disappointment, fear whirlpool that keeps you from stepping into your own power of who you are? Guess what? I see you. You're beautiful. You're lovely. You're divine. You're an entity that is pure love. And you're living in a physical existence that's hard. And you may not be heard. You may be lost in the cacophony of all of the things. You might feel like you're trapped. Those are illusions. You can get out of them. Yes, it may take work. Yes, it may not look easy. And it probably isn't easy. I'm not going to lie to you. It probably is really darn hard. But you can do it. And you're not alone. There's a lot of support. Even when you think you don't have support, mental health is so important. Physical health is so important. Keep asking. Be the squeaky wheel. It may even come against your nature to be the squeaky wheel. Guess what? You can do this. I'll help you be a squeaky wheel. I will be your cheerleader. Just come on to Daily Devotions. There's so many cheerleader moments on Daily Devotions. I may not be able to be there in person, but watch another Daily Devotion. Find another cheerleader moment. You can do this. You're not alone. Have a blessed day, and I will see you in prayer. Blessed be.